we're supposed to what it is, but I guess because we're suffering from year-end fatigue, it's a little bit difficult.
It's a little bit difficult
to do that.
Yeah, the girls are tired.
How are you?
I'm tired. I'm tired, guys. I'm tired. I am bored. It's very strange that like
that's wild.
As much as busy as I am,
okay,
like,
I get you.
As busy as work and school are keeping me, I'm very bored. I just feel like during the week, like nothing else happens besides school and work.
I
and
also
that's
feel
killing
like
me.
There's no space for anything else to happen.
There
like,
isn't exactly.
The last few weeks, I haven't been able to watch anything.
Exactly, yeah.
Like properly watch something. So I've disinvested from all of the shows that I've been watching. I'm saving them for like sometime in December. I don't know when in December because my new job picks up the most in December.
Yeah.
I'm just like, it's just work.
It's work.
And life and work.
Literally.
There's
just
no
like,
fun.
And that's why I'm like, I try to like squeeze in as much fun as possible, but like, I just don't have the stamina anymore. Like, I'm not that young anymore and it's killing me and my
Can't
homegirls.
balance both. I actually often
can't.
think about how hard we used to go in varsity and still be able to wake up the next morning and go to campus. Okay, I wouldn't go to lectures, but I would wake up and I'd go to campus.
Yeah.
And that's wild. Like I don't know how the hell I did that. I can't imagine doing that ever again.
Hell no. The last time I went out on a Sunday, guess what I did? I blocked out my Monday diary because I had to recover. I had to come back to myself. And even then it took me a minute. So I'm just not there yet. Life is just wild right now. Like I said, I'm so busy, but I'm also just very bored, which is just like wild. But I guess I was saying on my IG the other day, like when you like, I don't have the same things that preoccupied my mind, I suppose, so much during lockdown, like Mgowo, like aren't preoccupying me as much now. So like I was saying, when you go out, you're not bored. You know what I mean? Like it keeps you busy. It keeps you very busy. And so now that I'm like relatively grandish, let me own it. Now that I'm grand, things are like, I'm just like, what do I do with my life? Like I've been so consumed
by all these other things.
Yeah, by all those other things. And so now I'm like, what the hell do I do? Like, do I go for hikes? Do I jog? I hate jogging.
Like, who am I beyond
Who
Mgowo?
am I beyond Mgowo? I'm like, wow, like I've been trying to figure that out and sort of cultivate a personality outside of that, of which I think I've been very successful in doing. But when it comes to hobbies, I'm really like,
hey, dog.
I don't have hobbies. I mean, yeah.
I think about that a lot and it actually disturbs me. I feel like ever since I started drinking and going out, that has consumed so much space in my life that there's like so little space for anything else. But at the same time, I keep saying I'm trying to find other things to do. But it's very difficult to do because once you're stuck in a habit, it's difficult to get out of it.
Exactly.
As well as the people that you do the one thing that you've been doing for fun with, how are they going to feel when you try to introduce something else? So I 100% get you. But this...
What about you? What about you? You're supposed to share how you're feeling.
Oh, I'm going through, it's weird. I'm experiencing grief, but at the same time, I'm very optimistic still about the year, very excited, very keen to see it through.
That's growth, dude.
Yeah, I think so. So at this moment in time, like my gran passed away in October. I don't know when this episode's going to come out. And we are recording this a few days after, like less than... What day is it today? It's Monday. Less than a week. Less than a week since she died. So it's kind of weird. It's not the gran that raised me. It's my dad's mom. But it kind of hit me in a way that I didn't think it would hit me. I think I'm experiencing like a lot of sadness for my dad because I personally know what it feels like to lose your mom. And I know that the pain he's feeling is in no way comparable to like what I felt because he was extremely tied to his mom, extremely like lived for his mom and very devoted to his mom, and that was like his ride or die. So I'm feeling a lot of sadness for him. I'm feeling a lot of sadness for my cousins who were raised by her. Feeling a lot of sadness for my little brother because it's the first death that he's experiencing and he's very young. And he has a lot of emotions that he doesn't know how to process or articulate. So it's going to be a very difficult time for him. I've already seen now that it's like he's so young that I think he doesn't know how to process grief. And to him, most of what he's feeling right now are feelings that he's felt when somebody has done something to him. So he's been like exhibiting a lot of rage because that's naturally what he would have for someone who's making him feel what he's feeling. So it's been very interesting to see. Even like the first day when we told him, it was like a roller coaster of emotions. So that's what I'm currently going through. And at the same time, I'm very like happy and excited. I've started a new job. There's a lot of opportunity like on the horizon, a lot of blessings in the air, a lot of change, a lot of new beginnings. And I guess death is also a new beginning in some way. Like it's difficult to speak about it in that way when you're going through it, but it's a part of it's a part of life in a way that it's very transitional, right? And it changes the relationship that, if you want to perceive it that way, it changes the relationship that you have with the person and the way that you connect with the person. It's the next phase of that. So I'm also trying to constantly remind myself of that and constantly remind myself that like death is not an end, it's a part of life itself. So that's where I am. It's like a mouthful, but I'm at a very grateful and at the same time like pretty sad, but not dwelling in that sadness in a way that says, why is this happening to me? Why is this happening in my family? But in a way that says someone of great value to my family, to my father, has been lost to them, and they have to go through that process of reaching that point of realizing that death is a part of life in whatever way they rationalize for themselves. So yeah, that's me.
It's a lot, girl.
It's a lot, but after overwhelming you with a lot, today we're speaking about year-end fatigue, and I know we
definitely spoke about this.
We did an episode on this last year. It always comes at this time of the year, but I feel like this year it's come much earlier. It's hitting on another level, and for me, actually, it's very weird because I'm experiencing year-end fatigue from my old job and like everything else that's old that was happening in my life, while coming into a new job and like a new phase in my life. So it's very confusing for the first time in my life ever, because I've always experienced it towards the end of things, not at the beginning of something. So I'm like, what the hell we gonna do now?
No, I feel you. Like, yo, guys, year-end fatigue is rocking me. Like, Q4 is rocking me.
Yeah, Q4, you know, they say Rome wasn't built in Q4. And that's what people need to understand. There is no great change that you can create in Q4.
No, you're too tired to do that.
Stop rushing.
That's why I'm so annoyed, because it's like, yeah, we were working throughout the year and we really were pushing throughout the year, but like it just feels like ever since they said level 1, they're like, listen, we're catching up on what we've lost, and we're gonna make sure that we do it before we go on level 5 again, maybe next year, Feb, March, or whatever.
I can't work at my best when I'm tired.
Exactly. And it's like, I think people take for, it's so annoying. People think like, oh, you know, we're like chilling at home, lockdown, whatever.
We're really not.
And it's like, we're not chilling at, first of all, I'm working, thank you. And secondly, also, like, there's no sense of relaxation. There has been no sense of relaxation.
They can't be, because you're not at the office where they can physically see you walking. And as much as we speak about, no, you must create a healthy work-life balance, this, in a society that values us based on how productive and efficient we are, it's very difficult to internalize the message of calm down, take your time, rest, look after yourself and all of that, when I know that at the end of the day you're going to want me to perform at this level, this with this amount of time and this amount of work. Like it's not realistic.
And the worst part is, like, I was always saying that with people that that right now I'm struggling, or I've been struggling in terms of lockdown from the work point of view, obviously, because it's like you don't get to compartmentalize the same way. I think we spoke about this earlier. You don't get to compartmentalize the same way you did when you actually had to go to the office.
Yes,
right?
yes.
And so that created boundaries for you quite easily, you know. Whereas now, like, it's easy for you to for your work. For the work hours sort of bleed over into your sort of home hours, into your school hours. Like,
you literally find you don't have any home hours,
No.
like, because
I'm always here. Shit.
One of the things that I've found is that, so my previous job, I was a strategist, and being a strategist means that you think if, let's say, you have 60 hours to do a job, I would think for 50 hours and I would do the actual doing in 10. And that thinking for 50 hours, I would actually end up thinking for 100 hours.
Yeah.
Because even when I've knocked off, I'm still thinking about that thing. It's not like you can tell your brain, okay, stop now, stop strategizing. It's time to make popcorn and watch this movie without thinking about how to solve this problem.
Yeah.
And I think people forget that now, with us not having like the physical space of an office, as you've just said, it's very difficult to create that divide.
Yeah.
And that's why I've been so strict on myself in terms of my personal laptop is for watching things.
Yeah, exactly. Literally.
And doing whatever, and my work laptop is for work.
Yeah.
The two don't cross. When I close this one, it's closed.
Exactly.
Even when I went to PE, I was like, okay, I'm going to take the work laptop just in case things get hot and I need to do something, but keep it closed, because you need to create that healthy balance.
Yeah.
But it's so difficult. And that's why we're so tired.
Literally, I'm exhausted. And I'm not sleeping properly again.
Oh, I'm sleeping now.
I'm not sleeping properly again. I guess it's also because it's hard, of which I'm
Yes.
really happy about. Like, I'm not going to lie, guys. I know I'm wearing long sleeve things right now.
I've got like the hats.
Just don't, you know. But
and the t-shirts.
but like, I'm just very happy that the weather is looking the way it's looking, and obviously it's up from here. I'd like to think. I'm not trying to experience.
It's thunderstorms at like 4 p.m. but it's up from here.
But it's up from here. It's gonna be warm all the time, of which I'm very happy about. I hate. Y'all know I hate winter. I especially hated this winter.
This winter was rough. I normally like winter, but this winter was rough.
This winter was rough.
And also, this winter felt like I experienced year-end fatigue in June, July.
Yeah, exactly.
Because with lockdown, the year felt so long.
Yeah.
Like, every time I realized that it's been like, we're in the 10th month of the year, I'm like, what?
Like, when you said you guys bought Ivy Park earlier this year, I said, what?
Yeah, it was in...
Wasn't that last year?
Jan, Feb? It was earlier
like
this year.
Yeah,
so
around there.
It's weird. I feel like this is my second phase of year-end fatigue this year. June, July, I was at my wit's end. I felt like...
Yeah, I remember we were talking about that.
When is the end? Like, I can't see. I'm just swinging in the dark.
Yeah.
And I think it's what now? It's like my 4th year of working, technically. Like 4th, chasing 5th. And I think it's interesting to see like the way I'm experiencing work-end fatigue, year-end fatigue now. Because I'm in a very different position with a bit more responsibility compared to where I was before. And I feel like I'm feeling the tiredness, but it cannot be debilitating.
Yes.
Like, I have to push past it and I have to move. And
because there are people relying on you
to do things.
Yeah, to do things.
And within that moving, I'm getting more and more tired, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I can't rock on the weekend. I can't do things on Saturday anymore.
Yeah.
I have to rock on a Friday.
It's so messed up. Like what you're saying about having more. It's funny because sort of Q4 came with bigger responsibilities for me, where I had to kind of assume a leadership role and sort of train someone while the two of us are trying to chase this very big deadline, right? And so, like you're saying, like I actually can't necessarily I can't afford to be as tired as I want to be because I'm also kind of supporting this person and they're supporting me, and I can't transfer that to her because she's just as tired.
It's also what's the word?
It's like an energy exchange. No?
Contagious.
Yes,
it's
it's
as contagious
contagious,
as anxiety, because if you're in a senior position and you're panicking, then the person that's
Exactly. So I'm literally in that position where it's like, I kind of have to, kind of keep us going. I must be the one to be like, no, Siyapusha, because at some point she was very anxious and it was almost kind of remember, I don't know, we spoke about on where anxiety is quite contagious. Like it's very easy. I know myself, like I'm a sponge. Like if a friend or someone I know is like in a really down mood or like, oh, I'm going through the trust and believe either a couple of hours later or almost instantly, I'm gonna internalize it. So at least I had to kind of fight that, and I was kind of proud of myself for that, because I kind of had to sort of block that out, and I had to be the one to be like, no, let's push, Siyapusha, and so it's like, wow, I'm guys, I can't wait.
But one of the things that's very interesting that I've learned this year, and I've started to apply a lot this year, has been the value of reflecting on past experiences in the face of triggers.
Yes.
And how that can help cut something so short that you don't actually have to worry. Like sometimes we waste so much time on the worrying that we steal from our ability to protect ourselves from the thing. Yeah. So like now, I think I was able to identify that, oh my God, my girl, year-end fatigue is starting to bite.
Yeah.
So that's when I was like, okay, what are the things that get to me the most and affect my productivity?
Yeah.
Because I'm still at a place where my productivity is very tied to my self-esteem. And there's nothing that I hate more than feeling useless. And there's nothing that I hate more than feeling like I'm not being helpful, especially in
not bringing value.
Yeah, especially in the professional environment. And there's a lot of work that I need to do to create a healthy relationship between myself and productivity in that way. So I had to be like, yo, that if you're not sleeping, you're going to be cranky, you're going to wake up with a foggy head, you're not going to be able to work, and then you're going to beat yourself up about that.
Exactly, yeah.
So to take away from the negative talk that's going to affect your self-esteem even more, the one thing we can do best for us being me, is try sleep more.
How about that?
Try sleep better. If it means that you wake up a little bit later, it's fine. If it means that you have to then wake up earlier to work, it's okay.
Yeah.
So like the last week, since I got back from PE Monday, I've been clocking like 9-10 hours on average. Like last night was difficult because of the weather.
Yes, yeah.
But downloaded an app to help sleep. Humidifiers also helping with like lavender oil, sometimes eucalyptus, and I sleep with my watch on now, so it's actually at night I wake up with like, I think because it tracks my heartbeat and my sleep patterns, and then like tells me when to wind down, tells me when to breathe, because I also started doing breathing exercises, because I've noticed that I get flustered really easily, and when I'm tired I get flustered more easily. I'm very vulnerable when I'm tired. So somebody saying something like not big, like, oh, please fix this, can often feel like, oh my God, I've messed up so much. Yeah. So when you're tired, you also get paranoid. Yeah, I get very paranoid when I'm tired.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
I know myself.
I don't function.
Yeah, so the sleep thing solves a lot.
Yeah.
And also like drinking more water helps a lot. Drinking more tea helps a lot. And making notes, like a list, and then ticking it off as I go by. Yeah. Because you also become forgetful when you're tired. And then when you forget, you go back to that negative self-talk of, oh my God, I'm so this and this, as opposed to I've made this mistake. So I've been like making sure that in order to help myself through this fatigue, these are the things that I can do, because the workload's not going to get less. They're not going to pile on less on you. The responsibilities aren't going to get less. It's what you signed up for. It's the KPIs that you have. I said I wanted a job. I said I want to become an active member in this capitalist society. So that's what I've been doing. I don't know, like, over the years, what have you seen works for you, and how do you cope?
So a lot of this year, well, first of all, I've gone back to exercising. So that's been helping a great deal. It's been helping me a lot in terms of like my energy levels, sleep. I finally decided to get to subscribe to this app called Full Lock by Flipped, and so what it does is it essentially like takes away all downloaded apps for however amount of time that you sort of set it for.
How much is a subscription?
Like 150 something a month.
Okay, it's not
and I mean it's a great app, guys. Like personally, it's helped me a lot. I use it if I'm working and I just don't want any distractions.
For some reason, when I'm anxious and like overwhelmed by work, I forget about my phone.
Yeah,
like I can be off it for like 8 hours. I find myself
just like using it sort of
I get
as
you,
as
and you're
tool.
like, what am I doing?
And then I'm like, oh my god, then I feel bad.
It's
and then
wild
it's like,
how different brains work.
Exactly. So I use that. Sometimes I use it before I go to sleep, so to help me wind down. So maybe I'll do it like 2 hours before I'm supposed to go to sleep. I haven't done it this week, and last week I haven't, because it's just been. Last week was just, I've never been rocked the way I've been rocked.
Hey girl.
Last week,
guys, my first day of work. Body bum. I was like, okay, this is us, but I'm enjoying it because it's showing me what my capabilities are. And
that's
it's so nice when you see something, it overwhelms you, and then you take a bite and take a bite, and then when you're done, you're like, oh my god, I ate this cake like that kid, like Brucey on Matilda.
I ate that cake.
Let the week be that cake.
Like literally, that's been me where okay, let's do dates because we don't know when this is gonna drop. So the week of the 15th, I guess. So like I was saying, like it really rocked me, but the great part was that I didn't come out of that like sort of feeling sorry for myself or feeling like a failure. I actually came out of there feeling like
victorious.
I'm the shit. Like, oh my god, I'm good at this. I'm good at what I'm doing. Exactly. When someone gives me a deliverable, I can actually deliver. And so
we forget that a lot.
It's so easy to and it's leading me up to sort of what I'm going to talk about in terms of kind of what's been helping me sort of deal from an emotional standpoint. Like it's so easy to go through a rough patch at work. It wasn't necessarily a rough patch, but like it's just there was a lot being demanded of me, right? And there's a lot of pressure, and I'm definitely feeling it. And everybody's like,
we're watching you.
At the same time, I'm also sort of feeling on the negative side of things in terms of work. Like, certain things are supposed to happen that didn't happen because of COVID, and I'm definitely feeling like I've been robbed, and it's like having extra responsibilities on me without the correct sort of compensation really feels like shit. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm definitely dwelling more on the fact that, oh my God, like this is actually testing my capabilities, and I can go on to another job and say, I did this and I did it successfully,
I own this project.
This project, exactly. So there's that. So it's all leading up to sort of me talking about how like this year has really been I've done a lot of emotional work that not that I didn't know I was doing. I mean, I was actively doing it because I had the time. Lockdown, hello. But essentially, I had to sort of reckon with a lot, sort of the negative self-talk. I kind of had to like face that head on and be like, listen, girl. Like, I mean, I'm not all the way there, but it's definitely like it's uncomfortable. Like, it's like how I was talking about like self depreciation is done. Like, but it was beyond self depreciation. Sometimes there were things that maybe didn't feel very like self depreciating.
They felt like normal things to say to yourself.
Things to say to yourself, right? And now they've also become uncomfortable to say. And just sort of coming out of that, like, not loser mentality, but like, when you're dealing with so much, like last week, it could have been easier for me to just be like, oh my God. And there's nothing wrong with that, by the way, right? But it's just never gotten me anywhere, guys. Like I've dealt with that for years, and it never did anything
for me emotionally, like from a positive perspective. It never did anything for whatever the issue was that was caused.
Because I couldn't even face it head on.
Yeah.
And then to be able to say, okay, this is the issue, this is how I'm feeling, this is how I'm going to deal with it. Like I couldn't even do that. And so that work has kind of helped in that regard, where I'm like, oh, okay.
And that work is for you, right?
It's for me.
That process doesn't have to exist with another being unless you wanted to.
Exactly. And also just kind of own, like I've been owning my feelings a lot and sort of just trying to sort of be in tune more with my feelings, because I realized someone was asking me like, how are you feeling? And I was like, I don't know. And I was like, how can I not know how I'm feeling? So I've been trying to do a lot of that, because it keeps me in check even when I'm under pressure, even when I'm feeling like, oh my God, like I'm feeling like I'm drowning, and you know, but what about the drowning? What comes with the drowning? Sometimes with the drowning, sometimes I find myself feeling emotionally vulnerable, and then I find myself feeling lonely. Or when I'm physically vulnerable, I then find myself instantly going into like, oh my God, I'm lonely mode.
Yeah.
So it's those types of things where I've had to sort of identify sort of my feelings and sort of own them as well. And yeah, like also just owning the fact that whatever people think of me is their business.
True.
I mean, it's.
You can review and check if it can affect
exactly
how you move forward.
But it's whatever people think of my feelings is up to them.
You know, I saw something really interesting the other day, and it was basically saying like, our feelings aren't all that is of us.
No.
There's more to us than our feelings.
Yes.
And we shouldn't let our feelings dictate the way that, or undermine the rational processes that we have been undergoing.
Yeah.
Because feelings can be triggered and sparked by multiple things
at
any
be
given
fleeting.
time.
Yeah,
yes, and they can be very fleeting.
Yeah.
So to anchor and structure and have them govern your whole life at all times isn't going to make any sense. And I think most of our relationships with others outside of principle are determined by feelings, which are very fleeting.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to the topic at hand,
yes,
which is year-end fatigue.
Year-end fatigue. So yeah, just doing all the emotional work to handle this year-end fatigue, because like I said, when I'm feeling physically vulnerable, of which tiredness definitely and fatigue definitely
a big part
to
of
me. Like I then kind of slip into a state, and even if I do slip, I definitely come out a bit quicker. And like you're saying, I then almost have to be like, oh my God, this is just how I'm feeling right now. It's not necessarily, it's not bigger, like, because sometimes like we really can be in our feelings big. And it feels so big.
And it feels like the whole world can see and everyone can see that I'm such a fuck up
and it's like,
and I can't do this and people are literally looking at you like, oh my God, thanks, you did it. You submitted that thing on time. Dope, this looks okay. And you're sitting there like, oh my God, I messed up. At least I finished. That time you actually did a good job.
You actually did a good job. And so that's really been helping. It's very staggering. Like, oh my God, I'm being a grown-up. What?
It's very difficult.
Anyway, topic at hand. Year-end fatigue. Yeah.
How are you? What would you say? Actually, this is a nice one. What would you say to your student self about dealing with year-end fatigue? Because I know the second semester is always shorter than the first. And it literally feels like 1 week. And now people are studying on... Well, you're a student.
I am a student, I'm speaking to my student self.
I'm like still treating you like an auntie.
So, same things that I've sort of been saying is that like, what I'm feeling right now is like, it's not my whole reality. And I think obviously I'm a different student than I was years ago. So for years ago student, it definitely was just a matter of being like, look, it's okay that you're feeling these feelings. Like, so that's another thing. Like, I've really just been allowing myself to like feel. This is something that's been in the works since like 2017, like where I like, for the longest time, like it was a reflex for me to sort of suppress everything I felt. And so it's become obviously easier and easier to sort of, where I'm like, actually girl, okay, this is what's happening. I feel. Let's feel it for a day if you want to. Let's go
just
through
mope.
it.
Let's just mope.
Let's wallow in self-pity. I'm not a bad bitch. I'm not strong
not a
right
savage.
now. I'm not a savage. I'm a sad girl right now.
Yeah.
So
sad
I
girls
think,
worldwide.
hey, so I think student me definitely needed to know that like those feelings are okay, but they're not okay enough for me to sort of dwell in and sort of let them lead me. Because I definitely was sort of letting them guide me.
So you need to walk your feelings. Don't let them walk
you. Literally. I think student self definitely, well, back undergrad student self, definitely needed that. Where it's like, you're not, like, you're so right, where you're like, you're thinking, oh my God, I'm doing so terribly. And then someone's like, oh no.
And you're actually measuring yourself against how you believe the world is working at that given time, instead of taking one bite at a time.
And it's like, girl, and it's so funny. What I'm really grateful for postgrad student me is that, like, I have the supervisor that I have. Like, she's very, if there's one person who is dedicated to making this process as soft as possible, like, listen, I'm living a soft life academically. I'm not even gonna lie. This Han is dedicated to making this experience as soft as possible for me. And so for the longest time, like with this year, like having started over my thesis because, you know, we kind of didn't feel it. And then Corona happened, and then just so much happened. She was in hospital for like 3 months, and I didn't know until like my head of department was like, yo, you need a new supervisor. It was like a whole thing. And then obviously we got back together. Yay. But you know, for the longest time I was so scared of starting again. It was incredibly terrifying. And it's funny because I've been speaking to someone who is a sort of colleague in Cape Town, and he's doing his master's, but he's sort of like, you know, he's been pushing forward. And I've been supporting him, and he's kind of been supporting me, but supporting me from where I'm at, where I was, where it was like at a standstill. And at the same time, I was measuring myself against him.
And
like,
you do that.
Oh my God, this person is like,
he's
done with chapter 2. Oh my God, I hadn't even started with chapter 1, you know? So, you know, I'm definitely sort of grateful that she kind of reinforces that thing of like, listen, like where you are right now is okay. Like,
don't rush.
Slow down. You know,
I hate that song so much.
Like literally just relax, you know, like you're doing great, you know. And especially at a point where I was like, oh my God, I wrote like a rough.
And sometimes
draft.
even like you're doing is enough.
You're doing is enough. Like literally she was like, listen, because I was like, oh my God, I sent this thing, it's so terrible. She's like, listen, that you sent it is perfect. We'll
fix
deal
it.
With the content.
There's nothing
later.
there are very few things in this world that you can't fix, especially if you're operating from a good place, from a place of trying, from a place of attempting to move yourself forward at a pace that isn't going to be detrimental to you, at a pace that isn't going to cause you to burn out, which means you're actually stealing more time from yourself.
Exactly.
There's nothing in this world that you can't fix as you go on.
Yeah.
So like for me, if I were to speak to my younger self, I would literally like tell myself to take one bite at a time and chew properly, and don't rush in terms of like swallowing, because you will fucking get indigestion.
Okay, that IBS is
having to deal with that will not be cute in terms of doing things in a way that's going to cost you in the future.
Yeah.
Cheap is expensive. Fast is expensive. Take your time. Ask for more time if you need to.
Ask for help.
Be open. Be honest. Don't rush yourself, because then you're not going to be proud of the thing that you deliver at the end.
Yeah.
So rather try all the other avenues that won't lead you to burning out.
Exactly.
Guys, it's very tough having to deal with year-end fatigue when the work isn't slowing down, and all of that. So you need to be very transparent. And also life is
still happening. Hey,
and yes, all the other things in life are happening.
Hey,
so we also need to remember that this one thing, it's not worth ruining everything else in my life. So I need to make sure that I'm in control of this thing, whatever control means for you. For me, control means being aware. It means acknowledging. It means taking one bite at a time until I finish the whole thing. It also means being in control of my feelings before I interact with others about a thing. So that to me grounds me really well, because then even at my most tired, all the delusions, all the paranoia that comes with that won't affect the relationships that I value, because I will have assessed and I will have seen how to move forward in the way that I think is best.
Yeah.
And if I mess up, it's okay.
It'd be like that.
It'd be like that sometimes. Apologize if you feel it's necessary in terms of like continuing a relationship. At work, speak as fast as the thing happens. Like as soon as you notice it, flag it, because you don't want to sit with something. It's going to stress you. Could be a bigger mess up. There's a lot of dynamics. So I think that's us. Please let us know how you deal with year-end fatigue, how you're feeling. I know some people here are even older than us, so you'd have better advice.
Please, we need it. We need it.
All of the women in me are tired.
Girl, been tired. This year has just been, guys.
Let's rest.
Rest, like, please. I know we say if we rest, you rust, but
it's time to rust.
Let's rust, guys.
It's time to rust. Turn into rusks.
No, guys, like
it's
hilarious because now the weather's great, so obviously everyone's just trying to.
I'm
you know
rusting.
how it is that
I'm rusting. You know what? You will rust. Even if you think you're not resting, you will. You don't want to rest because you'll rust. You will rust.
You will rust either way. Oksala, exactly. Guys,
and be well rested while you rust.
Exactly. So rather that, because also these things also contribute to the year-end fatigue.
Yes.
Like, the excessive
drinking. You can't be turning up at 25, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Are you sick?
I know we don't want to shame anybody, but we're shaming you.
Your body will not recover.
Your body will shame you, in fact.
Literally.
So, I'm speaking from experience, okay? So guys, thank you so much for listening. Looking forward to more episodes. Life is hectic, so thank you for being understanding. Like, we have not been harassed.
Nobody has said anything.
We have not. I don't know if you guys are sick of us or you just are understanding, but we haven't been harassed in so long. So thank you guys so much.
I think everyone's going through things.
Yeah, everybody's like really preoccupied. So shout out to being preoccupied, I guess. Y'all need to be preoccupied some more. But thank you so much. Yay, bye.
Bye.